What's up, everyone? I am breaking my 3-month YouTube hiatus to bring you the most valuable video on YouTube going over how to start a software company. It's going to be an entirely free course, end to end. And so real quick before we dive in, just let me introduce myself if you don't know who I am. So, hey, what's up? My name is Alex Hyden. I'm a 24-year-old entrepreneur. In 2021, I started tryclosify.com. It's a hiring platform to hire commission-only sales reps, scale it to $1 million in 18 months. No personal brand that you see now, placed thousands of sales reps, served hundreds of business owners before selling majority of the company in 2023. It's actively still running. If you search higher commission-only sales reps, we're still the #1 organic result. After that, I grew a following on Instagram and YouTube in the SaaS space and got paid a lot of money for brand deals and realized something else, that the influencer and creator marketing space is broken. Creators always want too much money up front, and businesses never want to shell out much money unless the creator is huge. So I saw what TikTok Shop did to the e-com space with performance-based creators and thought someone should build this for the app and software space. So I built getpaidapp.com, where businesses could set a budget and the rate they pay per 1,000 views. Creators would connect their social accounts to paid, begin posting inside the guidelines, and be paid out. I took paid to a 6-figure run rate in 2 months before being acquired. And now I'm making this free course on YouTube to show you how to do this. So now that you know why you should listen to me, let's dive in and let's break into this. So how to come up with ideas. This is where everyone gets stuck because you want to come up with an original idea, but we're not trying to build the next Google or Amazon. And you don't need an original idea to make a boatload of money. This is actually pretty easy. Every idea I pursue follows the following criteria. So it must sell to business owners, so B2B, because they have money, must make the businesses more money. It should be high ticket, at least over $50 a month. And ideally, it scales with the size of the business. So if you're selling to a bigger business, you should make more money, whether that's by selling per seats or on a usage-based pricing model. This one's maybe controversial. Must have a lot of competitors. This shows you that it's actually working. The TAM, the total addressable market, must be big. I want to cast basically a broad net. Like I'd rather sell to be able to sell to any business that has a sales team, which is like, basically every business, than a super niche type of person, like maybe like window installers. And then there should be minimal platform risk. Like you shouldn't be at like one big update away from OpenAI from being wiped out, for example. So let's look at my 2 companies that I just mentioned. Closify sells to business owners. Good sales reps make businesses more money. It was $5,000 a year at the start. Recession-proof. Businesses always need more salespeople. Now it's at $2,000 per hire. The bigger the business, the more hires, higher lifetime value. Paid sells to business owners. Performance-only creators make them more money. They deposit whatever budget they want, but the bigger the business, the more money they're going to spend, obviously. 15% platform fee and a $500 a month platform fee. Growing industry, every business hires creators now. So I got both of these ideas on my own from being in these industries and identifying the problems inside them. So often that's the best way to truly get an idea, to be immersed in a niche and realize a recurring problem that you can solve. However, you can take these frameworks for ideas and have AI help you. So Alex Becker basically says the exact same thing for how to choose ideas, saying find businesses where you can sell a $100 bill for $20. So I plug these frameworks and ask ChatGPT to help me come up with ideas like this. So let's take a look at my convo with ChatGPT. Okay, so I said, hey, my name is Alex Hyden, getting a little bit of info on me, looking to help identify new B2B SaaS ideas that makes business more money. I can charge a lot of money for, build $30 million a year in revenue. No, I just told you, break down what companies you target. And I said, I'm good at outbound sales and marketing, Gave me some ideas, performance-based marketing, high-tech client acquisition SaaS. And then I really liked this one, revenue recovery SaaS for subscription businesses, a platform focused on reducing churn, because churn is like the #1 killer of software companies in any subscription business, really. So I really liked that one. They gave me some more. And I ended up, as you can see, I was like, expand on idea number 3. And so boom, goes into the key features, target market, revenue model, moat, go-to-market strategy. And I'm like, yeah, like let's dive into this. Product roadmap. Even gives you, little cold email. And so boom, like, this is kind of just going into like pitch deck. Here I was just kind of like toying around with it, exploring who would the main competitors be. So I could check out the competitors, churn buster, and some adjacent competitors, how to differentiate yourself. Got this little chart made. That's not really all that important. But then this is what's actually important to do next. I said, can you make me a PRD, which is a product requirement document, for this idea to use inside of Cursor? I actually going to use Cursor or hand to a developer. And so boom, now we got this PRD. And so basically now you can see the objectives, the key features. What I did was I copied this, and now we're actually going to build this in Create Anything. So let's go and let me show you what this did, because it's going to blow your mind. Okay, look at this. I literally just did this right now. Boom, pasted the PRD into Create Anything, and literally, like, as you can see, did all of this, and look at what it built right here. This is insane. If you guys want to try out Create Anything for free, I'll put the link in the description. But look at this. And so I haven't played with this yet because I wanted to wait to do it live. So like, let's play around with this and see how well it actually works. So first off, the landing page is beautiful. Let's see if this calculator works. So let's just say we're at 100,000 a month. So we're at 15% churn, average customer monthly value. Let's say, we'll use our example, $299. Let's just put 2% here. Calculate my ROI. Boom, look at that. Monthly recovery, $6,590. Boom, get my custom demo. I don't know if this works. Probably not. Wow. Okay, let's see what this does. So this is actually how I would go about making softwares now, is using tools like this. And so let's see how we can actually start to make this functional. Okay, so when I'm hitting start free trial, nothing's happening. So I'm going to tell it, when I click on start free trial, nothing actually happens. So what are the next steps to make this MVP fully functional so I can go out and start selling? Let me fix this typo. And then, oops, sorry. Boom. Now let's let it cook. This is actually so insane. These tools are getting so good. It's insane. And this landing page is like beautiful. Like, this is honestly better than landing pages that I've paid people thousands of dollars to make, which is just insane. Okay, as you can see, it's literally doing this all live right now. This is so crazy. Okay, so now it's done. So boom, it just did all this other stuff that we can see here. Sign up page, sign in, sign out, onboarding flow, dashboard. Okay, wow. Okay, let's see if this works now. So now let's hit start free trial. Okay. Boom, let's use that. I'll create a password. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, so it already has multiple options. Let's just say 20,000 for the example. Okay, I got this error. I'm gonna let them know. Okay, so in onboarding, I got the error. Failed to set up your company. Please try again. Can you help me troubleshoot this? Okay, and so now it should have fixed it. So let's just try this again. Let's just put 20,000. Complete setup. Please sign in again to continue. Okay, no problem. Boom. Okay, sign in. Okay, I'm gonna try again. It looked like it was about to do it for a second. Let's try it and sign up because it's looping there. If not, I'll just tell it there's an error. So let me use a different email. Okay, I'll just do this. Let's see if this works. Okay. Now I'm being told, please sign in to continue. But when I do sign in, it just keeps looping me back to the sign in. And this is good that these errors are coming out because this is going to happen. So I'm showing you that you can literally just troubleshoot it with Create Anything in real time. So let's do this and then I'll come back. Okay, so now it should be solved. So let's try this again. Looks like it's still looping. Like it's still looping. Say, is there anything I need to do? Okay, so it should be working right now. We also added some debug tools, which is pretty sick. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. All right, it loops. So now let's do the debug. Okay, so I open up the console and I'm going to put in a screenshot of the error. No. Okay, so I just gave it the console log. So now it was able to find the issue. So hopefully this will work now. Moment of truth. Let's see. Okay, let's keep trying. And boom, we are finally into the dashboard. Now you can see beautiful dashboard. I actually did a really good job. We can see the revenue recovery. And so obviously this is all dummy data. Payment recovery rate, payments received, churn prevention, recent failed payments. As you can see, failed, recovered, and we can see all these different things. So let's see if this works right now. Okay, so this isn't functional right now. So this would be the next step. Okay, so I had to debug it. Now let's hit boom. Look at this. Payment recovery, failed payment recovery, high risk churn prevention, win back campaign. So if we just hit run, boom, campaign executed. And this is what dummy did. So like, I don't want to bore you guys too much. Like I've been doing this for like 20 minutes maybe. For me to like make this fully functional across the board, it would probably take me a couple of hours. Then I would onboard some test people for free, have them find bugs. But the point being is like you can literally vibe code your software in a weekend now, which is insane. You just watched me do this. So again, if you guys want to try out anything, I'll put the link in the description. This is insane. I don't want to bore you with making the rest of this. So like, let's talk about once you build this, how to actually go out and get customers. So I go back to trusty ChatGPT and I'm like, can you help me identify 10 B2B SaaS owners, LinkedIn contacts to reach out to for RevShield? They should own a B2B SaaS between 1 and 5 million ARR. And it gives me people. You can search them on LinkedIn, gives you some, scripts. And I basically just asked them to keep giving me more people. And so I actually did this. And I did this actually a few weeks ago, actually. And funny enough, someone that I reached out to literally just responded today. So said, hey, I love what you're building, what you've built at First SaaS. Quick question. Have you looked into recovering lost payments from failed Stripe charges? We built RevShield to recover 10 to 15% of ARR automatically. Would love to send a demo plus offer a free audit if you're interested. Worth a chat. So he actually reached out. He's like, is this a future close? I was like, nope, separate business. Very interesting. I think the same. He's like, I might not need it, but I could recommend it to some clients. And so obviously he's someone that I'm going to talk to now. He'll just literally respond today and see if we can set up a referral partnership, which we will get to that in the go-to-market strategy. So to start off, like you can just use LinkedIn totally for free, obviously. And basically it's so slept on. It actually works really, really well. You want to have a clear profile, which I'll show you mine in a second, bold headline, connection request with a note attached. The script that I use is so simple. I would say, hey, name, I built this product and here's the value proposition. And then I just mix up my call to actions. Is this worth a chat? Are you open to try this for free? Is it cool if I send a loom on how this works? So like, let's just go take a look at my LinkedIn profile. And this is actually going to be more specific to when I was running Closify. Okay, so here's my profile. You can see I still have my Closify banner. My headline under my name, this is like the most important part. Now it says building something new, but it actually used to say we've staffed over 200 sales teams in the last 12 months. Or we staffed over like 200 teams with commission only sales teams in the last 12 months. So like it was very obvious that what I do is staff commission only sales teams. So like, because when you're sending a connection request to someone, they see your name and they see the headline under your name. So it's like, it should be very clear what you do. And if they see that and they accept your connection request, like they're much more likely to like actually be receptive to being pitched. Okay. And then basically this is now a little bit more about me, but this about section used to just be like a little sales letter for Closify explaining the struggles with hiring sales reps and why Closify was a better solution. So that should be that. And then your featured section, you can see I still have Closify here actually, but it should be like your landing page with like, it should have like a VSL or book a call, and then social proof here as well. So like I used to have like Closify testimonials on here and stuff like that. And then you should be posting content as well that talks about your business, that warms up your connections about your offer. So that's kind of how your profile should be set up. Now let's actually talk about how you can do your outreach much more efficiently now utilizing AI. Okay, so since this is a guy that responded to my DM, we can actually use him as the seed profile and teach AI how to find more people like him based off of the parameters that we give it, and then find us leads overnight, and then we can make a separate agent to actually reach out to them on our behalf. So I'm going to show you how to do this inside of Manus. Now I'm going to use ChatGPT to actually help me make the prompt to give to Manus. Boom. I'm looking to create a simple yet detailed prompt to give to Manus to create an agent to identify leads on autopilot for RevShield. The prompt should include some seed profiles of people inside RevShield's ideal client profile, as well as other parameters that make them fit our criteria, like owning a B2B SaaS, their estimated monthly recurring revenue. Please generate this prompt. Boom. Like this looks pretty good. So like let me copy this. Okay. Boom. Now let's go over to Manus. We're going to go to agent mode. Boom. Now it's going to take a second. Look at it cooking in real time. This tool, like, this is where AI gets so mind blowing. Like, look at this cooking. And this is like live, by the way. Like, it is literally like doing this like on my computer. Crazy. Boom. So now it's identified some really good prospects, and now it's researching them more. Boom, we're still ripping. We're building this automated lead generation system. It's doing all this research on these types of people. This is so sick. Boom. And so now it finished it. And so now we have a list of leads. And so here are all leads. And it took like 3 minutes. And I found me some really good leads, estimated ARR. And it gave me their website, the location, the priority, and notes. And so what you can do is you can run this overnight, and you'll wake up to just a giant list of leads in your ideal client profile for either you to reach out to the next morning manually if you want to customize them, or you can build a separate agent. So you can have an agent that builds the lead list, and then you can build a separate agent that'll actually do the outreach on your behalf. So you can actually sign an agent into your LinkedIn profile and have it send these messages on your behalf. And you can say, hey, don't send more than like 20 to 30 messages a day, so that way you don't risk getting your account banned. But you can do this. And then what you can do is you can rinse and repeat this on every platform. I do not recommend doing it on Instagram, but you can do this on X. I do this on X. And then you can also do this with email as well, but I can also show you how to set up a cold email infrastructure. Like other part of the go-to-market strategy would be to set up a cold email infrastructure, send like 100,000 cold emails a month. That might be an entirely separate video. But like this is so insane. If you guys are not using AI tools like this, between using ChatGPT to create prompts, using Manus to create agents, like you guys are going to be so far behind. But so anyways, now these are people that I would reach out to. But so basically on LinkedIn, we're going to use the Manus agent to identify leads, and you're going to send 30 to 50 connection requests per day. This is going to book you meetings. I promise you. Like LinkedIn is so slept on. If you follow exactly this, you just use this super simple script and you send 30 to 50 connection requests with a note per day, and even sprinkle in some content on LinkedIn, you will book meetings. I promise you that you will. The next part of our go-to-market strategy that's so underrated is partnerships. So like who sells a different product or service but to our same ideal client profile so we can share our leads together. And so, I am selling to people that have a software product. So I can partner up with agencies that serve software. So for example, email marketing agencies for software companies, or paid ad agencies for software companies where their clients might be interested in using RevShield to win back more of their lost revenue. Okay, so I would be reaching out and making a totally separate agent to reach out to prospective partners on LinkedIn. Okay, so we would just rinse and repeat that same process of going to ChatGPT here and say, I want to create partnerships with ad agencies that serve B2B software companies so I can send them leads for their ad agencies and they can promote RevShield to their customers. Can you help me create a prompt to make another agent to identify prospective partners for RevShield based off of seed profiles and a few other parameters like their estimated number of clients being over 10, for example. Okay, boom. So now here's some thing. So then we would do the exact same thing. I'm not going to do this as well, but we would take the exact same prompt, put it into Manus, and now Manus is going to also help us come up with prospective partners. And now each partner, so reaching out to prospective clients, it's one-to-one. I'm sending one outreach message with the possibility of getting one new customer. With partnerships, it's one-to-many. I'm sending one DM with the possibility of unlocking dozens of new clients, okay? And so you're going to want to send 10 to 15 DMs a day to new prospective partners. And you can do a lot of different things with them. You can just have a purely referral partnership, hey, I'll send you clients, you send me clients. But you can also even do things like joint webinars and training. So you can, maybe let's say we partner with one of these ad agencies. We can do it like a joint training of, how to scale a software with paid ads and backend infrastructure. Gee, that's awful spelling. To reduce churn. And so this could be a joint training that we both promote. We're both on the webinar, and then maybe we send them to a form that we both have access to, and we can both sell to them. Okay, so this is something else that you can do, and you can get creative with it. But partnerships are such a big unlock that so many people neglect and don't focus on. The next big unlock and part of my go-to-market strategy that I would do is content, and specifically YouTube long form exclusively. YouTube long form is the best content you can ever post to make money. And so what I would do is I would make videos like this. And these aren't maybe the exact titles because SEO is a big part of YouTube. And so I use vidIQ's Chrome extension to help me out and to help me come up. And I use vidIQ to help me come up with the actual titles. But ideas like how to reduce churn for your software. This is killing your software's growth. 3 tips to hit 100K MRR with your SaaS. And all these videos, they should be helpful, they should be useful, and you should very subtly kind of plug your product in as a means to execute the information that you're teaching. Okay. So for example, it shouldn't be such a hard sell, but it should be if it's 3 tips to hit 100K MRR with your SaaS, it's tip number 1 might be, up around top of funnel traffic, for example. Number 2 might be on your conversion mechanism. So having, a proper funnel, maybe it's building a sales team. And number 3 might be, reducing churn. And this is where, I would promote, RevShield. Okay. So that's kind of how I think about these types of YouTube videos. All of these are free to do now. Like I said, maybe you spend a couple $100 a month just on the tools to automate like Manus, but it's LinkedIn DMs are free to send, partnerships are free to form, and YouTube videos are free to post. So these 3 things, this is what I would start with. These are going to take you to $10,000, $20,000 per month. Not it's not going to be instant, but these are plenty to get you past $10,000 per month. And then as you start to scale up, it's you really do just kind of scale each of these. So it's on terms of LinkedIn, it's like you build a sales team. Okay, so you teach them, then you hire SDRs. Okay, these are sales development representatives. So you hire SDRs and you teach them how to do exactly what I just showed you to do. You say, here's how to find leads, for example, using Manus Agent. And you say, here's a working script. Here's how to optimize your profile. And, here's how to then book meetings. Okay. And you build an SOP, a standard operating procedure, and you show them exactly how to do this on LinkedIn. And you kind of like rinse and repeat. Okay, then here's how to do it on X. Here's how to do it via cold email or cold calling. And you show them exactly how to do it. You pay them a set amount. You maybe pay them a small base possibly, or you say pay them X amount per booked call. At Closify, we would pay roughly $50 per booked call. And so this is how you scale, as you start to then just get more people to do of what you first validated how to do yourself. So it's very important that you as the founder are the first person to do it. You are, as a founder, you are a salesperson. So you need to figure out how to book calls and how to close calls yourself first. Because, I'm going to be the one taking these demos, right, for RevShield, showing product and, collecting payment inside the app. But same thing. I'm recording these calls and building a sales framework. Then I'm hiring closers or account executives. Okay. And then it's just like rinse and repeat. You hire more SDRs, more calls get booked. You hire more closers to take those calls. Like this is how I Closify. So Closify grew entirely from an outbound sales team. We had automated cold email campaign running. We had SDRs on LinkedIn plus cold calling, 3 sales reps for closers, 1 sales manager. So we had a bunch of SDRs to manage. And boom, that got us to over $100,000 per month, this setup. The only other thing that we had was SEO, which I can briefly talk about, but I'm not an expert in it, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. So let's briefly talk about SEO. I hired an agency, but there's basically like 3 parts to SEO. So you have your on-site SEO, and you basically have like blogs, backlinks, and then you have like some technical stuff. So again, that's basically the extent of my knowledge on SEO. It's relevant, especially now with like the AI SEO. Like that's more important now. It's like ranking ChatGPT and Gemini and all this stuff, like being mentioned organically, like in Reddit, and just like other forums of like people saying like having like an actual online presence is like basically my understanding of it. But I hired an agency. I paid $3,000 a month. Took like 6 months for us to rank really highly. Closify still ranks #1 for higher commission only sales. But like this is the playbook. And like then as you start to scale, like at this point doing this stuff, like you're way past $50,000 a month. From here, scaling is literally like scale up your sales team, post more content, pay creators, run ads. Like this is really it. Like that's the playbook of how you do this. And that's really it. Like, you get more people to make YouTube videos. You start getting short form content. Like there's some other stuff you can do. Like you can do like a newsletter. You can basically like put out lead magnets. So for example, I would put out a lead magnet of how to lower churn for your SaaS and, give them some ideas, and I'm collecting emails, and then I can send 2 to 3 emails per week promoting RevShield. Okay, but like this is the playbook, and I just want you guys to understand like how insane of an opportunity this is. That like you can do so much of the work with AI now, and it's so much easier than it even was when I started in 2021. To where you can basically use ChatGPT to help you get your idea make the product requirement document, use createanything.com to build it in a weekend and debug it in a weekend, vibe code it, whatever you want to call it. And then you can just go to market, use LinkedIn, automate the lead gathering with Manus. You can create a separate agent to do the actual outreach as well if you want. Post content, form partnerships, and you can build a software company relatively quickly that is going to pay your bills and it's going to make you more than you could in a job. So like, and on top of all of that, it is a sellable asset that you can sell for a multiple on the annual profit. So this is just such an insane opportunity. And so if you guys want to work closer with me, I'll put all the links in the description of how you can check out anything, some free resources and goodies for you guys as well that I've made over the years. And hopefully this was a good return to YouTube for me. Hopefully this was valuable to you guys. Let me know if you want more videos like this. I'm kind of going away from the highly edited stuff, and I'm just gonna, straight value Google Doc Loom video. And for those of you that like it, you'll like it. And if it doesn't keep your attention, then maybe this isn't meant for you. But hope this was helpful. All links in the description. I'll talk to you guys soon.